Hey fellow gamers, this is me, KGKProductionz again. I have no idea which video this is, might be 12, maybe 10, I don't know, somewhere around then by now. But we're starting to get somewhere deep into the SoulCalibur 5 series that I started up for this character creation, So I'm starting to get more into characters that are more mainstream and in television shows or in shows we forgot about. In particular, I'm going back to Toonami, because Toonami was awesome, it was sick as hell. Mr. Yu Hakusho and Rurouni Kenshin. And I probably make some characters from them too, but they're really easy to do. But one that I have never seen anyone do, which I kind of got mad about, did it before I got offline, was Sailor Moon. I never saw anyone do a Sailor Moon, and I kind of got mad about that because, they did her in SoulCalibur before. So I decided to try to throw her in it. Maybe someone made her before and never put it up there, but I'll show what I made for her when I was, doing what I had to do. So this is what I did for Sailor Moon. A lot of people had problems trying to get a schoolgirl outfit. That's why I never really saw like a lot of Sakuras. Some people figured it out, others didn't. It's my variant on that idea, But I think it came out pretty well, She got the tiara, she has the little ribbon on her chest, even got that spaghetti hair, those meatballs, you know what I'm saying? So she needs the meatballs in her hair, because that's Sailor Moon. That's what Sailor Moon always called her, was meatball head. So you gotta have that there. But I'll show you how to get something that looks like this, now, basically. So let's start. Let's get to the height. So her height is set to 3, normal, And I use face 1 because she always had the chibi face, those little QC girl faces. Hairstyle is set to Celestial Maiden. And the eyebrows I put at 19. The voice, I just used Young Lady. I didn't really play around with the voice too much. So if the voice sounds good to you, then that's cool. But if it doesn't, then I apologize because I didn't try to do the voice, Now for the height. Upper arms, pretty much everything I left alone. Only thing I changed was the muscle mass. Well, actually, no, I didn't even change the muscle mass. I apologize. I didn't change a damn thing here. Everything is the same. Alright, everything's default, so you don't have to do nothing in it. Just leave it alone. If you want to edit some stuff, that's cool, but you don't have to do nothing because she basically has that Sailor Moon body, which is not that much. So, alright. Now let's get to equipment. For that headpiece, the Bong Seon circlet. For the upper body equipment, use the country tunic. For the lower body equipment, I use the pleated skirt. It gives those folds, like a schoolgirl's mini skirt is supposed to do. For the collar, I use the belt because Sailor Moon had some kind of collar on her neck, and it had like some kind of design. I forgot what the design was. Forgive me for not remembering this, but that's about as close as I could get. There's only like 2 collars in the game without getting any additional downloads. So only one of them has, an actual piece on it. So I use the one with the belt. For the gloves, I use the princess gloves. And then for the boots, for the feet, I use the engineer's long boots. Now, the important stuff is the specialized equipment. Because without this, she's not Sailor Moon at all. She's just some schoolgirl who did a bad cosplay. So, with this, you have Sailor Moon. The first thing you need, which is really important, is the bow. You gotta add the bow onto her chest. And basically with the bow, I can show you what I did. I just put it on the chest. I set back to -12, and I set the rotate vertically to -166, where the rotate horizontally is set at 2, and the angle is set at -180. And that's what you have to do for the bow. Now for the apples, I'll just do one apple for you, and I'll show you how to basically adjust the size for the apple. Okay. I add apples to the head because instead of using the balls, when I use the the little ball pieces, it looks really weird. This way at least it gives her that shine, like like it's some kind of jewel or something. All right. So basically, what we do here is set the head to -19. Vertical I set to -13. Then back I set to -14. Width I put to -24. Length I set to -24. Depth -24. Rotate vertically -161. Everything else I left alone. Okay? So that's one of the apples. Once you get the first one, you should be able to figure out the second one. I'll just do a quick run through the numbers without saying them because I'm getting tired of saying the numbers, you know. So I'll just do a quick scan through so you can look at the numbers yourself and see what I did to place those apples there. Just pause the video where you need to see the actual, you know, integers and plug them into your game. Okay, so for the weapon style, I use Viola. And I gave her the master. You know, they have plenty of different, you know, items and stuff you can use. You probably can use the Veritas. If you want to be a douchebag, you can use a fishbowl. But I think the master works fine. You know, do whatever you want. I use master because it glue. I gave it a yellow glow and it just seemed cool. So that's all. For packs, I use a magic pack. You know, that's still your personal thing. Alright, so now for colors. Skin tone 983. For the undergarments, you know, basically underwear 94420. Then for the hair, I set the hair, the first two colors of both, at 9811. The second color is actually the flower that's on her head. So this is explaining why I use this hairstyle. A lot of people are probably saying, what the fuck? Like, why are you even touching this shit? Well, the reason why is because, you know, without this hairstyle, I can't really do the spaghetti head thing. It doesn't look as good without the hairstyle. You know, this forges a lot of stuff that she had, and it adds some stuff that she didn't have, but it's about as close as I can get without being able to personally edit her hair over the actual hair editor like they had in Tekken 6. So this way I get the strands on the side of, I get some strands on the side of her head, you know, and it just looks like something that Sailor Moon would wear, you know. For the last color, 9223. Alright? Now that that's done, the eyebrow color I set for 9825. In the eyes, I set the eyes for 93821. Keep the second color at basically bright white, because yet again it's an anime character. Anime characters have detailed eyes and colorful eyes. So the better the color, the better the detail, everything fits in perfectly. Alright, now for equipment colors. Let's start with the head. The first color I set for 9823, and the second color I set for 9114. Now we get to the shirt. I use a pattern on the first color actually. For the first color I use a pattern of basic 5, and the first two colors I use the same exact, you know, color of 94321, as well as the last one. But the third palette I use 900, so it forges those little stripes you see on the top of her shirt, because she's supposed to have some kind of stripes there, but couldn't, you know, be too detailed with the stripes due to the fact that, well, they don't have, you know, like a rectangle figure, like a rectangle motif for me to use as stickers. So I have to use patterns, and this is about as close as I can get. If anyone figures out something different, please let me know, and I can at least add that as an annotation to the video. Other than that, what you do with this, you set the size to its maximum, and that's it. Basically got that done. The next three colors are all the same. Basically a white, 100, you know, you can see here. This one's actually 700, so apologize for that, but they're all basically bright white. You know, doesn't make a difference if you set for 1 or 0 or 7, it's still white. Now for the skirt. The skirt, 94321. The color blue is basically the same here, so you should probably have figured that out by now because I went through everything that's blue. Okay, now for the neck and back equipment, aka the collar. The first color I set for 9/1/17, and the second one I set for 9/8/13. The gloves, I just make that white, and we'll get to the color that you see at the top next. In the sticker section. Okay, the boots, make everything red. 9/2/20, everything stays red. And we'll get to the special designs that you'll see and stuff like that in the boots as well. Now for the specialized equipments, for the actual, like, the bow or the ribbon, 9/1/16. But for the two pieces in her hair, that's shiny red. I use 9/1/21. That color seems to shimmer a little bit, and that works for me just well. Okay, so far this is what we got. Now for the last part, the stickers. For the stickers, you want to basically do those last minute details that makes the character look complete. So here's one for the gloves. Okay, I use motif 3, and what we do is you basically move the motif. I set it to the left arm, but it actually affects both arms, and I place it by axis. What you do is you move it vertically and try to basically cover the upper part of the glove on both sides, mind you, and make sure you set the size to its maximum. That way it can do a full covering, and you move it so that way it covers the glove, but just the top portion of the glove. And if you accomplish that, then you have, that part of her outfit accomplished. You just have to add the color now so you can differentiate 9/2/14. This way it looks as if she has her gloves on. It's the same concept as what happened with Cloud Strife when I did that with his bandages. It's like the same exact thing. Now for something that I wanted to do, I looked at her boots. She has a moon pattern on her boots. And sure, I couldn't get a perfect moon pattern on her boots, but it's about as close as you can get. So what I did was I used motif 3 twice, one in each boot, and I covered the top portion of the boot with white. So after I did that, make sure you're gonna use size to its maximum and play around with the location and stuff like that. After I did that, then I used motif 12. And I set the first color for 9/12/16. The second color I set for 9/11/20. And then I placed the location, to each leg, respectively. So you have the moon on one leg, the moon on another leg, and just play with the size. Not too big, but not too small. That's the best way to do it. And if you do that, play with the rotation. Make sure the rotation for the moon is touching the top portion of the boot. And for the most part, you'll have it. So you should have something like this. After you do all the stuff that I told you, you should be able to see Sailor Moon looking something like this. Okay. With that done, set the color for your weapon. Do whatever you want to do with that. Here's what I have. You could make it, I don't care, man. You can make it black or gray or green or blue. I don't care. I can't tell you what to do for that. But this is what you should have now. She should look something like this. If you want to see her yet again, I'm gonna do this for every character from now on because I think it helps. You want to see how they look like when they fight, not how they look like when they're just standing there doing nothing. So here's how she looks like when she's actually fighting. Alright. Okay, so that's it for this segment. KGK available yet again with another series and tutorial for SoulCalibur 5 custom characters. Hope you enjoyed it. Other than that, everyone tight. See you later.